You drag your thumb across a glowing screen, waiting to see what appears. This action mirrors the mechanical pull of a casino slot machine lever. You sit down intending to watch for 5 minutes, yet suddenly an hour has vanished. Most users respond to this by blaming their own lack of willpower. TikTok functions as a meticulously engineered psychological system designed to bypass rational thought and maximize the time you spend within the interface. The app's design language relies on the same psychological framework that makes commercial gambling highly addictive. This digital slot machine captures user attention, creating a loop where automated behavior begins to replace conscious choice. The underlying mechanic is a concept called variable ratio reinforcement, which traces back to the behavioral experiments of psychologist B.F. Skinner. Skinner observed that if a reward is perfectly predictable, like getting a food pellet every single time a lever is pushed, the animal only acts until it is full. Without uncertainty, the behavior eventually stops. However, unpredictability creates a powerful compulsion to keep acting. When the timing and quality of the reward are uncertain, the subject will continue the behavior indefinitely in search of the next hit. Every TikTok swipe replicates this bird-in-a-box dynamic. You encounter a mix of content, some boring, some mediocre, which keeps you hunting for the next highly stimulating video. The presence of mediocre content is a deliberate design choice. By spacing out the rewards, the app ensures the physical swipe action remains as addictive as possible. This cross-section highlights the dopamine pathways at work. While associated with pleasure, dopamine is actually the primary driver of anticipation. Research shows dopamine levels peak in the split second before a new video loads. Your brain is most active while waiting for the reward. Over time, the central nervous system becomes trained to crave the physical act of swiping as much as the content of the video itself. This process turns the physical search for content into a biological compulsion, locking the user into a self-sustaining loop. Traditional media relies on stopping cues. You reach the end of a book chapter or see the credits roll on a television show, giving your brain a natural moment to pause. These early wireframes show how digital design used to follow that logic. Hitting a load more button required conscious physical intent. Modern social apps removed those visual barriers entirely. The infinite scroll ensures there is no longer a natural endpoint to the experience. This design triggers the bottomless bowl effect. Without cues to signal that portion is finished, the brain loses its ability to track how much time or content has been consumed. Combining autoplay with this endless feed removes the cognitive friction of making a choice. Instead of choosing to stay, users simply fail to choose to leave. A mechanical slot machine operates on fixed static odds. The system in your pocket is far more dynamic. As we look at the TikTok For You interface, we see an algorithm that is constantly monitoring your micro-behaviors. It tracks watch time and rewatches to learn your specific psychological triggers in real time. This allows the app to curate a hyper-personalized feed, mixing highly engaging clips with just enough mediocrity to keep the variable reward schedule perfectly active. This creates a unique slot machine for every user, where the odds are continuously adjusted to exploit specific emotional patterns. Variable rewards, dopamine anticipation, and infinite scrolling all converge into a single seamless architecture. This diagram represents a state called normative disassociation. It is a hypnotic flow that degrades conscious decision-making, pulling the user into a cycle of automated behavior. This dissociative state warps the perception of time. Minutes vanish into hours because the cues required to monitor consumption have been removed. This engineered compulsion loop traps the user, ensuring every second of their focus is won by the system's mechanics. TikTok functions as an invisible architecture designed to capture human time for profit. Understanding how the trap is built is the first step toward reclaiming that time.